Ukraine managed to stop the Russian offensive in the Kharkiv region. According to Zelensky, the situation in the Kharkiv region was influenced, among other things, by the destruction of Russian positions and missile launches near the border by the Ukrainian armed forces.
We see how the determination of the world opens up new prospects for restoring our security. Among all these concerns, the security of Kharkiv, the destruction of Russian terrorist positions and launchers near the border by our forces, our soldiers, really matters. It works exactly as we expected. And based on the results of the battles now in June, in different sectors of the front, I want to thank all our soldiers.
In recent weeks, there have been fierce battles in the Kharkiv direction. Analysts at the Washington Institute for the Study will believe Russian forces were trying to repel a Ukrainian counterattack in the northwestern town of Glibok, north of Kharkiv. The Russian army also continued its offensive in the Lipty area, as well as in the area of the city center of Vovchansk and Vovchansky Hutory.
At least 30 of the Russians surrounded in a chemical plant in Vovchansk surrendered over the weekend. The others have nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. And now the Ukrainian Air Force has taken aim at them with precision glide bombs. Several Ukrainian brigades, including the elite 82nd Air Assault Brigade, raced north to meet the Russians. Freshly rearmed with munitions, rush-shipped from the United States, the Ukrainians fought the Russians street by street, building by building, and halted their advance in late May. David X, military correspondent for Forbes magazine.
Military situation has been radically changed in favor of Ukrainians by the U.S. permission to strike targets on Russian territory. Now Russia is forced to move its forces from the south and Donetsk direction to the north of the Kharkiv region to reinforce their positions.
There are three basic scenarios. To help Russian troops who are already stuck in the Kharkiv region, it is the first one. To open a set direction in the Kharkiv region, it may be an option. And to open another direction in the Sumy region. In theory, anything can happen.
In addition to the glide bombs provided by the United States to Ukraine, France promised to transfer another 50 HAMI glide bombs every month until the end of the year. Let's recall that previously Washington allowed the use of its long-range weapons only in the territory immediately adjacent to the Kharkiv region. However, this is not enough, experts are sure.
This will definitely not be limited to the Belgorod region. It will be Kursk region and Bryansk region, again depending on the concentration of forces. I am sure that our command and political leadership are constantly discussing this issue. The main thing is that there is the first permit. The second one will be, let's say, a little easier to obtain on the border territory. I will tell you more. Our military doesn't want to talk, to name the mileage for which they have been green-lighted.
On May the 22nd, both Republicans and Democrats spoke in favor of giving Ukraine the opportunity to fight as it considers necessary, namely to use American weapons to strike Russian territory. They sent a corresponding letter to the head of the Pentagon. Later, during a meeting with Joe Biden in Paris on June the 7th, Volodymyr Zelensky stressed that without U.S. permission, Ukraine will not be able to use missiles supplied by other countries, in particular the UK, against targets in Russia, despite the fact that London has lifted restrictions on the usage of its weapons.
To effectively defend itself against daily Russian terror, Ukraine must gain the ability to strike military targets on Russian territory. It is also important to strengthen the defense of our Kharkiv region and speed up the supply of American weapons. Volodymyr Zelensky, President of Ukraine, on Telegram.
So on June the 19th, 2024, Austrian Chancellor Karl Nehammer stated that the Austrian Ministry of Defense supports Ukrainian attacks on Russian territory, which, according to Vienna, complies with international law. Even neutral countries changed their position from non-escalation to forcing the aggressor to peace. Reported by Diana Kolesnik, Yulia Granovska, UATV News.